Hello and bah humbug. If you've ever driven in the rural South, then you've probably come across one of the many boiled peanut stands on the side of the road. Well, my grandma from Alabama gave me some raw peanuts over the holidays, and I've decided to make my own roadside boiled peanuts, Cajun style. The first thing we'll need is some Cajun seasoning. For this kind of recipe, you do not want to use store-bought seasoning. In fact, this is why I rarely use store-bought seasoning at all. If you look at the first or second ingredient in most of these spice blends from the grocery store, it's almost always salt. So there's really a limit to how much you can use, because if you go overboard, whatever you're making will turn out to be way too salty. That's why we're going to make our own Cajun seasoning without salt. In a bowl, add 2 tablespoons of smoked paprika. It's okay to use regular paprika instead of smoked if you don't have any. Just use 3 tablespoons instead of 2, because the next ingredient is 1 tablespoon of paprika. Then add 1 tablespoon of cayenne. You can go with more or less cayenne depending on your personal taste. And 1 tablespoon of onion powder. Now we're moving on to teaspoons. 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of white pepper, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of dried oregano, and 1 teaspoon of dried thyme. Ooh, that's gonna make for a pretty thumbnail. Sorry, I got so excited to take the picture for the thumbnail, I forgot to record the part where you mix it. But you guys all know how to mix something, so at least it wasn't an important part. Now add 1 pound of peanuts to a medium pot, or your instant pot, or slow cooker, with a 1/4 cup of pickled jalapenos diced, 2 tablespoons of crushed red pepper, 1/3 cup of salt, and 3 tablespoons of our Cajun seasoning. Give it a little shake, then fill the pot with water, and cover it with a lid. Now your cooking method will determine how long you cook it. The fastest way is using an instant pot. I've never used one of those things, so if you're using that, just follow the factory instructions. The second fastest method is on the stove top. You'll bring the pot to a boil, then reduce the heat to low and let it simmer for 8 hours. And the slowest method, but in my opinion the best, is the slow cooker, also called a crock pot. And that's pretty much what I'm doing here. The back left eye on my stove has what's called a melting plate. Basically, it's a very thick plate that evenly distributes the flame at a very low temperature. I love this thing. You can use it to do things like melt chocolate without a double boiler, or make hollandaise directly on the stove without fear of it burning, or in this case use it as a slow cooker to simmer boiled peanuts for 48 hours. Now I know 48 hours is a long time to cook something, but if you have the patience, it's totally worth it. If not, just go with the stovetop or Instant Pot. Once the peanuts are done, just transfer them to a bowl and they're ready to eat. They make a great spicy snack, the perfect balance between sweet and heat. And if I'm honest, I was worried I should have added sugar to this recipe, because when I ate them as a kid, I remember them being sweet. But I guess the natural sugars in the peanuts are enough, because these turned out to be remarkably sweet. Tune in tomorrow when we'll take the rest of this Cajun seasoning and turn it into a marinade for chicken. Thanks for watching, everyone. Goodbye, good night, and as always, bah humbug.